Disneyland Paris has recently gotten a brand new nighttime show called Disney Tales of Magic, and in this video I'm going to share with you what I think is the best place to watch the show from, so come along! Hi everyone, how's life and welcome to another one of my videos. So yes, in this video I thought I would let you know some of my favorite spots to watch the new nighttime show here at Disneyland Paris, Disney Tales of Magic, which recently debuted here on the 10th of January 2025 and is an open-ended show, so hopefully you should be staying in for at least a few years. And the cool thing about Disney Tales of Magic is that for the very first time in Disneyland Paris, the show doesn't just happen on the castle, there's also projections all across the buildings on Main Street USA, which makes it a much easier show to watch, so you don't actually have to worry too much about being close to the castle necessarily. I mean, you can be close to the castle if that's what you prefer, and that's exactly what I'm going to touch on in this video as to whether or not it's best to be by the castle or maybe down on Main Street USA. But the fact that you now have the option to watch a little bit further back and still be able to see the storytelling and the projections is definitely good. By the way, in case you're worried about spoilers, if you don't want to see anything from the show, then don't worry, I will mention before I'm about to show some clips from the show so you can skip ahead if that's what you'd prefer. But for now, I'm just going to be talking about positions on Main Street USA or by the castle and where is the best place to stand. It's a very beautiful sunny day in Disneyland Paris, by the way. You can see the castle there behind me too. Loving being here. But the first thing I guess that you have to decide yourself is whether you would prefer to watch it close to the castle or on Main Street USA, because I'm going to be honest, both of them offer two very different experiences. If you watch it on Main Street, the whole experience is a lot more immersive because you can see the entire storytelling, the projections, all the wonderful colors on the Main Street USA buildings, which just makes you feel like you're right in the middle of the show. And then by the castle, you see more details. There's definitely more happening, more projections, more little details that were mainly designed to be shown on the castle. So if you watch them on Main Street, you'll probably going to miss them out. So yeah, there's pros and cons to both for sure. I would highly suggest that if you can, if you're staying in Disneyland Paris for more than one night, then try both experiences. So watch it once on Main Street USA so you can see all the projections on the buildings, and then also try and watch it a little bit closer up to the castle another night. So let's go through every possible location that you can watch this show from. So when you enter the park, obviously the first place that you see is Town Square. That's where the gazebo is, and generally speaking, a lot of people actually like watching any nighttime show in any of the Disney parks from that area. The gazebo makes for a wonderful spot to watch the show, especially if you're able to get there early and have the front view of the gazebo, because then you're able to see not only the castle but also all the Main Street buildings at once too. But that's a very limited space, so if you're not lucky, if you don't get there too early, then it might not be the best view. And also bear in mind that you are still quite far away from the castle, so whilst you can see the castle as well as all the other buildings from Main Street USA, you still won't be able to see the details of the castle, but it does make for a good view. And it's also a location that even if you're not able to get to be right in the center of the gazebo, they do still have some spots around the gazebo where you can get there last minute, maybe 5-10 minutes before nighttime show starts, and still be able to see something. I actually watched it from near the gazebo the other night, and I thought the view was really good still. I still felt the magic, I still felt very immersed, I still cried during the show, so it still was a magical experience. It's not necessarily my favorite spot, but it's doable, and you're not going to miss out too much because you're able to see the projections on the Main Street USA, which is important. But then if you really want to see it properly on Main Street USA, I would advise watching it a little bit further down. So actually my personal favorite spot on Main Street USA would be to watch it right next to where Waltz is, Waltz the restaurant. Between Waltz the restaurant and then Market House Deli on the opposite side of Main Street USA is my favorite spot, because that way you're able to see both the castle, obviously you're not too close to it, but you can still see the castle, but also you can see the majority of the projections on Main Street USA. And actually the Market House Deli building is one of the buildings that shows the most amount of projections on it. So a lot of the projections that you see on the castle, a lot of the characters that you see on the castle are simultaneously shown on the Market House Deli building, so that's another reason why I really enjoy that spot. The fact that you're not too far from the castle and also right in the middle of Main Street actually means that you're able to also look back when the projections happen on the Main Street buildings and see everything from all around you. It's like, in my opinion, the most immersive, the most magical way to experience this new show, Disney Tales of Magic, because you're literally surrounded by all these beautiful projections, all these wonderful light works, and yeah, it's really, really nice. So Market House Deli, Waltz, stand right in the middle of it and you will get an amazing immersive experience. But that's just one of my personal favorite spots, especially because, and that's a little bit of a spoiler, if you don't want to know anything about the show, then maybe skip ahead like 5 seconds, but Pocahontas is in the show for a second and you get to see her on the Market House Deli building during the show if you stand there, which is awesome. It's like really cool to be so close to her. But then again, you can also choose to come a little bit closer to the castle and still be able to see most of the projections on Main Street USA and also perhaps see the castle a little bit better. I will say, if you really want to get the full experience of watching it from Main Street USA, then don't get any closer to the castle than maybe like a few buildings back from Main Street USA, because as you can see, there is a spot on Main Street USA where the buildings end and you're no longer able to see the projections on Main Street USA anymore, obviously. In fact, there's a whole area between the end of the Main Street buildings and the castle where by the time you're in that area, you're really not going to be able to see the Main Street projections anymore. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to be a bad space. You're going to be able to see the castle still, but it's not going to be that Main Street experience, if you know what I mean. So bear that in mind. I actually probably wouldn't advise to do so. I would say if you want to watch it on Main Street, then in my opinion, be close to where Waltz and Market House Deli are, or a little bit further back so you can see the whole thing. And then if you want to see it by the castle and closer up, then try and get there as early as possible so you can have the best view possible of the castle, because otherwise there's no point really, right? You either want to be very close to the castle so you can see the details of the show very well on the actual castle, or just watch it from Main Street and see it on the Main Street buildings, in my opinion. Don't go in between, because otherwise I feel like you miss out on both. You're not going to be able to see the castle that well because you're quite far back, and then Main Street as well is all behind you, so you're not seeing the buildings either. Choose before you decide and then go ahead with it. And I will say that watching it close to the castle is also an extremely magical experience. I've been able to watch it close to the castle twice now. I was lucky for the very first official show on the 10th of January. I actually had a reserved spot. It was for the press event of Inside Ears, and that was really cool. You can see my whole video on it on my channel if you would like that. But also, a lot of you guys wanted me to check out the paid reserved area, which is actually a little bit closer to the castle than where I watched it from the first night. So it's actually, I would say, the closest to the castle that you can get, and it's like a reserved area. I think it's something like 21 euros per person. It can be expensive if you're a family of 4 or 5, but it is also worth it. If you want to see it by the castle, if you don't care about watching it on Main Street USA, then buying that reserved spot means that you don't have to worry about getting there too early. You're not going to have too many people around you. I mean, don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean it's going to be just you there, but you don't feel completely crushed. You don't feel like sardines, you know? You're actually able to breathe in there and still see the castle very, very well. So yeah, I would say that the paid reserved area for Disney Tales of Magic is worth it, but it's not necessary, because you can also watch it on Main Street and have an amazing experience, an equally amazing experience, just a slightly different one. So yeah, I think that's more or less all there is to say. I would say another way to watch it close to the castle if you don't want to do the paid reserved area is to watch it by some of the barriers in front of the castle. If you get there very early, and I would advise getting there minimum an hour before the show, you might be able to have a full unobstructed view, hopefully, of the castle, because you've got the barriers in front of you. That means that nobody can come in front of you, no children on top of parents, and then you should be able to see the castle projections very well, and of course the drones too, and the waterworks and everything. So yeah, this is an incredible show. I absolutely adore Disney Tales of Magic, and I actually think I'm going to do a video coming up at some point talking about my honest thoughts on this show and literally a detailed opinion and review of what I think of this brand new nighttime show in Disneyland Paris. And like I said, I think one of the best things about it is that it takes away the stress for a lot of families about having to get there early, because honestly, no matter where you stand, you should be able to have a decent view. The fact that you can watch it on Main Street gives so many people the opportunity to watch it from there and not have to worry about being close to the castle. But equally, like I said, watching it close up by the castle is a slightly different experience and a wonderful magical experience too. So if you can, try and do both, but if you can't, don't worry, the Main Street experience is magical in its own way. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say in this particular video though. So now, those of you who don't want to see anything of the show can maybe click off. Please do give this video a like though before you go, I would really appreciate it. But those of you who don't care, then you can continue watching and you'll see exactly what the experience is like watching it from Main Street USA, in the middle of it, from the back of Main Street USA, and also up close by the castle where you can see all the projections and all the details on the castle extremely well. Before we go that though, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this if you want to hear my honest, really long thoughts on this new show. And a huge shout out to my lovely Patreon members and my YouTube members, and subscribe for more videos and follow me on Instagram. But yeah, without further ado, let's go to the clips of Disney Tales of Magic from different angles in Disneyland. Oh my god! Oh wow! This is awesome! Wow.
Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. I've landed on a strange planet with a formidable fortress. You need to secure the area.
find love in your heart, the world becomes a magical place.
That's not my father. It's just my reflection. Look.
Oh my
Music!